Oh. Huh? I feel weird today. People love photos where you hold a casserole and you look at it with love. The holidays are right around the corner, so I want to show you this really easy recipe, formula really, to make a strata. A strata is a cross between a bread pudding and a frittata, and it's perfect for the holidays because you can scale it up, scale it down, make it in advance, twist it up with whatever things your family likes, and the options are limitless. I'm going to show you two today, one using garlic bread for a pizza party strata. It's going to have pepperoni, mozzarella, marinara, but of course, go off script and put your favorite toppings. The second strata I'm going to show you is going to be made with cornbread, with some corn niblets, corn kernels. What are they called? Is it a niblet or is it a kernel? I don't know. It's going to be cornbread. It's going to have corn, jalapenos, cheddar, scallions. It's a great savory way to start the day. And be sure to like and subscribe if you want to see more videos where I go off script, or I show you how to go off script. Be sure to like and subscribe for more videos where I show you how to go off script. For a pizza party strata, the first thing I'm going to do is take some old leftover garlic bread and toast it up. The reason why I like garlic bread is that it's already super flavorful, so that you don't really have to do anything to it. It's already delicious. We're just gonna toast it. It's gonna help the custard like sink in there more, you know, because it's gonna be nice and dry. And then toasting it is also gonna develop some nice brown flavors that's gonna really come through in the strata. You can just skip this step and throw stale bread in there, and that's fine. But I think it's important to build flavor at every level. So we're starting off with really flavorful garlic bread. So that's already we're already at a good start. The great thing about this recipe is that not all recipes can scale up or down, but this one, it totally can. So adjust it to however many people you're gonna feed or however much bread you have around. You can split this recipe in half and just use like 6 ounces of bread and make a little 6-inch skillet, or you could double it, use a whole big loaf of garlic bread in a 9x13 casserole and have like enough strata for a party. So this is going in. I'm gonna bake this at 350 for about like 10 to 12 minutes until it's like toasty and golden. So for my cornbread strata, for my corny strata, I have some cubed up cornbread that is from yesterday, so it's nice and stale. But cornbread, unlike garlic bread, doesn't have as much flavor, so I'm gonna season it up. So if you're using just like a regular peasant bread or just a loaf of white bread, I recommend taking the time, season it up, make tasty croutons for your base. So here I'm adding 3 tablespoons of melted butter, a little bit of smoked paprika, and salt and pepper to taste. And this is gonna really make a big difference. A lot of strata recipes, they just use bread and they rely on the custard alone for seasoning. But I think if you start out with tasty croutons and then you add a flavorful custard and flavorful mix-ins, the whole thing is gonna just be better. So I'm just seasoning it up right on the tray. Salt, pepper, paprika, butter. But yeah, you could do this, you could do slices of like a nice hearty, Texas toast and toss it with olive oil and garlic powder, maybe some dried herbs. For the crouton-y thing, I kind of like to stick with dried stuff, dried herbs and spices, but do whatever you want. Throw in some fresh chives. It's gonna be, just make sure that whatever you do to this, that it tastes good. If it tastes good now, it's only gonna taste better later. I want more salt. I mean, it's not even toasted yet. Already tastes good. You know, you want your food to taste good at every stage. Okay, here are my cornbread cubes. Cubes of cornbread. This is going into the oven, 350 for about 10 to 12 minutes until it's nice and toasty and golden brown. I need to arrange some racks. Hold on. 1 second. Un momento. Are you giving people a close look of our terrible oven? You know, we have the worst oven in the world and we make miracles happen because we have an oven thermometer. If you have a terrible oven, just get an oven thermometer. You'll figure it out. It fluctuates between 200 and 400 degrees. Yep. you could make your strata with bread, sure, that's obvious, but I think it would be great with like leftover tortilla chips for like a chilaquiles vibe. Don't call it chilaquiles, but you know, instead of bread, do some old stale tortilla chips in your eggy custard. Maybe do some like ancho chili powder. Finish it with some salsa, some sour cream. That sounds good. Okay, now we're making our custard part. Okay, so the base of the custard, it's really light. We're just doing 6 eggs and milk, 2 cups of milk. So unlike a bread pudding's usually got cream or half and half. This is gonna be more light because it's like a cross between a bread pudding and a frittata. You can eat like a whole bunch of this and not feel terrible. You know, that's the goal. I like to start by whisking up my eggs real well until there's no streaks, because I hate that when you end up with like a little bit of white. Nah. All right, I'm adding 1.5 teaspoons of kosher salt. So the base of your custard is going to be 6 eggs, 2 cups of whole milk. I think that oat milk would be really good here. Maybe cashew milk, maybe even like soy milk. I think almond milk is not like creamy enough for this. Now that's really your custard. You have your bread and you got your eggs and your milk. And then from there you can kind of do whatever you want. So this is a pizza party. So for those pizza party vibes, I've got a little bit of dried oregano and red chili flakes. I think that you put oregano and chili flake in something and boom, it's pizza. That's all you need to make pizza, right? To further those pizza vibes, we've got some mozzarella. I'm gonna hold back on some to put on top to really make it look like a pizza, but most of it's gonna go in. Fold that in. And now you think about what toppings you want. I'm keeping it classic, you know? We're just doing some pepperoni, but I think that this would be great with some, okay, I'm a weirdo and I really like pineapple in my pizza. I would do some pineapple in here with maybe some roasted mushrooms. Ooh, crumbled sausage. Do like a meat lovers even. But the thing to keep in mind is you can really put anything in your strata, but it's not gonna cook a whole lot once it goes in the oven. So either go with things that are pre-cooked, like pepperoni, like roasted squash or rotisserie chicken, or things that are gonna cook really quickly. Spinach, kale, corn, that kind of deal, because it's not gonna cook a whole lot when you get in there. And you wanna avoid stuff that's really watery, like something like zucchini or mushrooms. You wanna make sure you cook it before you put it in there, not just to cook the vegetable itself, but also if you do just put a whole bunch of zucchini in here, it's gonna be super watery. You're gonna lose that rich custardy vibe that we want. And you know, what's the point then, huh? Okay, so that's it. Now we just wait for our bread and like, honestly, we're like there. This is a very easy recipe. And it's great because it's a way to eat pizza for breakfast. It's like bagel bites, you know how you can have pizza anytime? Pizza party strata, have pizza anytime. Okay, and we're starting totally the same. 6 eggs, 2 cups of milk, whisking it up with some salt, and then the seasonings from there. Going a little crazy, so I'm gonna do a little minced garlic. Get in there. Ugh. Gonna do some sliced jalapenos. I like it spicy, so I did a full 2 jalapenos. Do whatever works for you. Some frozen corn. If it's summer and you have fresh corn, that's gonna be even better. And then I'm gonna do most of these scallions. I'm gonna save a little bit for the top. And the same deal with the cheese. I'm gonna do most of the cheese and save a little bit for the top, so we get that nice cheesy crunchy top, which is always everyone's favorite part. And then just fold this all together, same deal. And then I'm gonna add the cornbread, mix, mix, mix. And then that's strata. That's it, man. This is an easy one, easy peasy. I really wanna see you guys get creative with this one because it is so easy. Ooh, croutons, garlic bread, crunchy. I'm gonna eat one before it becomes pizza. That's already tasty. We know this is gonna be tasty. So when you combine it, it's gonna be exponentially tastier. This is such an easy recipe. You really, really should just like get wild, get crazy, get creative. You just gotta remember, get your tasty bread cubes, get your tasty custard, and then you're gonna have a tasty strata. Yeah? Okay, so take a second and mix this and make sure everything gets nice and moist. I know people don't like that word. Take a second, mix this, make sure everything like kind of has a second to soak up that custard. Now for best results, set this up the night before. The morning when you want to bake it, pull it out for like half an hour, 20 minutes, let it come to room temperature and then bake it. And it's going to be even better because the custard is going to like fully soak into the bread. But if you want to bake it same day, that's fine too. Do whatever you need to do to make pizza party strata happen, you know? I'm just folding it up. It's going to be really delicious. I can already tell. This pepperoni though, it's like clumping together. We need even distribution of pepperoni. Even distribution. I'm gonna bake this same day, so it's especially important to take a minute right now and make sure your bread is having time to get to know that milky custard. But yeah, this is such a simple thing. You can just go off script, man. Please, go off script. I think that you should think about something you want to eat and turn it into strata. Cheeseburger strata. Oh, get some Martin's potato buns, toss it in some mayo and mustard and toast it up, and then do a custard just like this, eggs and milk, and then I would add pieces of American cheese, diced pickle and onion, and a little ground beef, and then you got a cheeseburger strata. Top it with shredded lettuce when it comes out. Serve it with a side of tater tots. Come on, that sounds good, right? So this recipe, it's super, super adaptable and forgiving. You can bake it in a 10-inch skillet. You can bake it in a 9x9-inch brownie pan. You can bake it in a 2-quart casserole dish. You can double it and bake it in a 9x13. You can split it in half and bake it in a 6-inch casserole, a 6-inch skillet, or just a little pot, like whatever you have, make it happen. You really, this is so forgiving and so easy. So I'm gonna do it in a 10-inch skillet because then it kind of looks like a pan pizza, which I'm into. It's gonna really fool your guests. They're gonna think you're giving them a pizza, and then you're like, oh, but it's a nice eggy light breakfast. Pizza for breakfast, pizza anytime, guys. I'm rubbing it up with a little bit of olive oil to make sure that it comes out when we bake it. And also, it's like a little more olive oil than you think you're gonna need, but it helps you get nice crispy edges. That's another reason why I like to do it in a skillet, because you do get really nice crispy edges that you won't get if you do it in like a brownie pan. But once again, use whatever you have. It will be okay. Here we go, going in our mixture. Bread, eggs, milk, pepperoni, mozzarella. Now, we're bringing in more pizza vibes. Gonna do some dollops of marinara sauce, just like here and there. It's kind of nice when you get a little pocket of sauce. I'm also gonna serve it with a little bit of extra warm marinara on the side. You don't wanna overdo it with the wet ingredients. I'm not mixing this in because if I were to stir it in, it would just make the whole thing eat really watery. But by putting it on top, we still get our marinara fix, but it's gonna be nice little pockets of it, and it's not gonna interrupt the way the strata bakes. Now at this point, you can cover this, put it in your fridge. In the morning, it's ready to go. You're just gonna bake this guy. But we're gonna bake it right now. And oh my God, the cornbread. Are you okay, cornbread? It's okay, guys. It's perfect. We did it. Let's figure out who's at the door. All right, so I have this is my leftover mozzarella for the top because we really want you to know that there's cheese in there. And this is gonna get nice and brown and bubbly, which I think is a really nice contrast because the inside is gonna be tender and creamy and soft. So it's gonna be nice to have a nice crackly top. I really like to get the mozzarella on the edges so it can really brown like a Detroit style pizza. Oh yeah, get it in there, get it, just get some up on the sides. The crusty edges are the best part. You can chill this in the fridge overnight and then pull it out for about half an hour so it just can take the chill off of it before you bake it. Or I'm gonna go right into the oven, 350 degrees for about 45 minutes. It's gonna be bubbly, brown, totally set. It'll puff up a little bit. Oh, it's so heavy. Cool. You wanna make the next one? I'm gonna do this one in a 2-quart casserole dish. And I'm gonna butter up my dish. I like to use my hands because I don't wanna lose that butter to the paper towel. I want all of that butter, all of it. I always use my hands. And I like using softened butter over melted butter because you can get a nice thick layer. And this butter is gonna help the edges get really brown and toasty, which is really tasty. You getting good butter smearing action? Huh? I'm smearing it towards the camera for you. What are other breads you can use? Breads that aren't breads.
Bread?
Brioche. Cubes of brioche. That's good. Bagel. Biscuit. Biscuit. Biscuit strata. With focaccia strata. I mean, really, anything can be strata. I don't know why people are so into frittatas. I think this is better. Because this is like, your bread's already in there, so it's the full meal. You got it all. Frittata, you need stuff on the side. So we're gonna give it a good mix. Make sure that everything, the cornbread has a chance to soak up that custard. All the ingredients are evenly mixed. This smells really good already. I can smell the garlic. I can smell the smoked paprika. I think that this would be also really good if you cooked a couple slices of bacon and crumbled it up and threw it in there for more of like a breakfasty feel. But I also just like, I think this is a really good vegetarian one because you got a lot going on with the smoked paprika and the jalapenos and the scallions. I think it's a good one. Ooh, you know what'd be good? A French onion soup strata. Hold on, stay with me. You do like hearty bread, season it up with like onion powder and maybe a little cheese so it gets a little frico-y when you toast it, and then swap out 1 cup of milk for some really good bone broth. You staying with me? And then fill it up with some Gruyere, top it with more Gruyere, caramelized onions. Yeah, I think French onion soup strata. That sounds good. Maybe we should have done that. I know. Vito's so angry today. He's so angry. Going into the pan. Finishing with the extra shredded cheddar. This is an extra sharp. It's called seriously sharp. I like sharp cheddar, but use whatever you've got. No big deal. If you don't like super sharp cheese, don't worry about it. But I think it's really nice with the sweet corn. Same deal with the pizza strata. At this point, you can cover it, put it in the fridge in the morning, boom. Another thing that, like, this doesn't have to be breakfast. You could set this up in the morning on a weeknight when you're gonna be super busy and then come home, pop it in the oven, dinner, done. But right now I'm gonna bake it right away. And the scallions are gonna go on top after it comes out of the oven for like a nice, fresh, crisp crunch. Ham can. This is your moment to shine. Oh yeah, look at that. So much bubbling, so much sizzling. It totally looks like a pizza, but it's not. It's not a pizza. It's a strata, so you can have it for breakfast with no shame. Okay, so this is fantastic just the way it is. You know it's done because when you press the center, it's gonna feel set. The edges are really nice and golden. I cranked up the broiler just at the end to get this nice toasty bit because you want that nice contrast. Crunchy top, soft, tender inside. Now, this is optional. This is how I like to finish it. There's this pizza place in Brooklyn called DeFara's, and this is how they finish their pizza. Finish with a little freshly grated parm, hit it with a little olive oil and a little basil right out of the oven when it's hot. The aroma of the basil is really going to come through because it's so hot right now. DeFara's is actually where we had our first date. We were in culinary school upstate, and then one morning, Ham woke me up really early, just bursted into the room, and he's like, we're going now. I didn't even know it was a date. I wasn't even asked. It was just like, let's go have pizza first thing in the morning. And we waited in line for like 4 hours, and it was really, really great pizza. I haven't been in years, but this is how he finishes every pie. He's also like 1,000,000 years old and pulls out every single pizza with his bare hands. It's really fun to watch. Okay, I'm kind of going hard with the cheese. Go as cheesy as you want, you know? I like a lot of cheese. All right, so now we've got some basil. Basil's really great to finish on something hot like this because the heat of the strata is going to wilt it a little bit. I can already smell it. As soon as the basil hits the hot strata, it's perfuming the whole house. Basil town. Yeah, DeFara's, he has like a bunch of basil and he just snips it with his scissors right on top of every single pie. So this is my ode to DeFara's in strata form. But if you don't have basil, you can skip it. I'm gonna hit it with a little fresh olive oil. Just kind of adds this nice freshness. I love finishing stuff with olive oil, and it looks so glossy and just alive. Look at that, it perks everything right up. Ooh, that's good.
That's the one.
It's still going.
Let's see how high you can go.
Yeah, I think it's gonna stretch longer than further. Oh, there we go. That was about as far as I was gonna be able to take it anyway. So, good way to end. I like to serve it with a little bit more marinara sauce. This has just been lightly warmed right on the side. Just because, you know, you can't put a whole lot in there without it getting weird. So it's kind of nice to have a little extra on the side. And then you know what? Since we've got it, I think we should hit it with more cheese. And I know it looks super indulgent, but it's actually not that heavy. Besides the cheese, you know, okay, there's a lot of cheese. It's not that much cheese. It's like 8 ounces of cheese for 4 people. It's not that heavy. It's actually pretty light. It's a lot lighter than eating a pizza, but you get those pizza feelings. Ooh, the top is crisp. Can you hear that? That's exactly what you want. That's why I put it in the broiler for just like a minute after everything was cooked. Get a little crunchy top. Gonna get a little bite with a little sauce. This is very good. The garlic bread has so much flavor already. And then it has this really nice savory custard. The oregano, it really comes through. Really tastes like pizza, but it doesn't feel too heavy. It is more frittata-like. You know, you get a lot of egg in here. So think about that when you're deciding how to, you know, mix this up. Make sure that the flavors that you're adding into your strata will go well with egg. Oh, party. Should we check out the corn? So much boublage. So crispy on top. Nice and bubbly. Good browning. So while it's right out of the oven and hot, I like to hit it with the scallions because it's gonna wilt a little bit and the aroma of the fresh onions gonna come through. See, it's so hot that the second I hit it with the scallions, I smell that fresh onion. And then there you go. 2 stratas. So easy. I didn't even use a stovetop today. I didn't even use a cutting board because we used the cutting board earlier when you weren't looking. You do need a cutting board. The best thing to do is wait for about 10 minutes so it kind of sets before you scoop it. But we're here for the cheese pull. We're breaking all the rules. We're going right in. Can you guys handle it? 2 cheese pulls in one video? I think this is like too much. This might not get a good pull because it's cheddar. Cheddar doesn't stretch the way, yeah, no, there's no pull. There's no pull at all. No, cheddar doesn't stretch the way mozzarella does, but it smells really good. I can smell the corn and the jalapenos and the cheddar and the smoked paprika. Super steamy. I like to have this with a dollop of either Greek yogurt or sour cream. We're gonna be real crazy today and have a little dollop of sour cream. Okay, that wasn't very good. As you can tell, I am not a food stylist. I'm here to help you make tasty food. Someone else can help you make it pretty. I like a little sour cream, a little hot sauce, because I really like to bump it up. Jalapenos these days, I don't think they're very spicy at all, right? What's going on with the jalapenos in the grocery store? Every year, they're milder and milder and milder. I don't understand. If you don't want a hot pepper, just eat a red bell pepper, green bell pepper. Don't take away jalapenos from the rest of us. Okay, sorry about that. Let's get in here. Let's give this a taste. This has like the perfect balance of spicy and sweet and salty. The corn is a little bit sweet. You get a little heat from the jalapeno, a little bit of salt and, you know, sharpness from the cheddar. I think it's delicious. This one tastes really light to me too. I guess because it doesn't have any meat in it. I feel like I could eat this, I feel like you could eat this whole casserole and not feel too heavy. Time for my final strata thoughts. I think this is the most riffable, easiest recipe that I've presented to you yet. So I really hope you go off the script. Go off the rails, you know? Just who cares about the train tracks? You just need bread, you need milk, and you need eggs, and then you can really throw anything you want in there. These are two dishes that basically use the exact same formula and they taste completely different. This has all those savory pepperoni vibes, you know? You've got mozzarella, you've got oregano, chili flake. This takes you somewhere else, like the Southwest in my dreams, you know? Cornbread, jalapenos, corn, scallion. Go crazy. I want to see you guys tag me. Make a pizza strata, make a biscuits and gravy strata, make a bagel, everything bagel with smoked salmon strata. Ooh. Ooh, oh, chilaquile strata with tortilla chips, cracker strata, like a migas in strata form. You can do this with whatever you've got around, you know? If you have just like random bits of bread, random bits of crackers, throw it into here and you've got a whole new dish. And it's something new. You're using up something that might have gone bad, and it's a lot of fun. So I hope you guys try this. I've been listening to your suggestions. That's actually how this came about, because there was a lot of people asking for a frittata. Frittatas are fine, but stratas are better. So that's why this happened. But stay tuned. There might be something sweet coming your way in the future. I'm listening. I'm watching. I'm gonna give you what you want. So like and subscribe and see what I come up with next time, here on Off Script with Sohla. I got the name right this time, at least. Thumb has recovered.